Your body has already made its decision. It has been speaking in the weight behind your eyes, in the breath that keeps leaving you a little more slowly, in the way your shoulders have begun to lower whenever no one is looking. It has spoken through the moments when your hands stopped moving for no clear reason, through the small blank spaces in your thoughts, through the quiet wish to sit down before one more thing was asked of you. All day, those signals may have been overruled. There was another message to answer, another task that seemed too small to leave unfinished, another person whose need arrived before your own, another thought insisting that you should keep going because you had already come this far. Your mind may have had many reasons. Your responsibilities may have had many reasons. The clock may have seemed to have reasons of its own. Still, beneath all of them, your body kept offering the same honest response. Enough for now. Not enough forever. Not enough because you have failed. Enough because you have reached the natural edge of what this day could ask from you. The heaviness in your limbs was not laziness. The slower rhythm in your steps was not a flaw in your character. The longing to close your eyes was not weakness. It was your whole being asking to be included in the decisions you make. That request matters now. You do not have to hold a meeting with every unfinished thought before you lie down. You do not have to convince every worry that it will be safe without your attention. You do not have to make a perfect plan for tomorrow before you are worthy of closing your eyes. The part of you that kept going has spoken for many hours. The part of you that needs care may speak now. Perhaps you learned to mistrust that voice. You may have been praised for pushing through discomfort, for showing up when you were running low, for being the one who could always manage a little more. People may have admired your steadiness without seeing what it cost you to maintain it. They may have thanked you for your strength while never asking where that strength went when the door closed and you were alone. You may have become so skilled at continuing that stopping began to feel unfamiliar. You may have learned to stand upright while something inside you was quietly asking to be set down. You may have answered kindly when you wanted silence. You may have stayed available after your attention had thinned. You may have completed the small duties no one would have noticed if you had left them. You may have remembered what everyone needed, carried details for other people, kept track of plans, moods, timing, meals, messages, appointments, and all the invisible pieces that prevent a day from coming apart. There are forms of effort that leave no proof behind. No one sees the patience you gathered before you replied. No one hears the sentence you chose not to say. No one counts the times you moved your own feelings aside because someone else seemed to need the space more urgently. No one may know how often you kept your face calm while your thoughts were crowded. They may not know how many decisions passed through you. They may not know how much noise you absorbed. They may not know that being dependable can become its own kind of weight when there is no place to put it down. You know. Your body knows. It kept the record without blaming you. It held the strain in quiet places, in the jaw that tightened without permission, in the forehead that forgot how to become smooth, in the chest that stayed ready for one more demand, in the stomach that carried conversations long after they ended, in the hands that remained prepared to fix, organize, respond, or reach for the phone again. None of this means you did the day wrongly. It means the day moved through you. It means you cared. It means you tried. It means you used real energy to meet real life. Some days require obvious courage. Other days ask for 100 small acts of endurance that no one calls courageous because they look ordinary from the outside. Getting up when your thoughts are heavy can be an act of endurance. Remaining kind when you feel worn thin can be an act of endurance. Making a meal, finishing a shift, listening to someone, keeping a promise, or beginning again after a difficult hour can require more from you than anyone else understands. You are not required to compare that effort with anyone else's. You do not need evidence that someone had an easier day before you can admit that yours was demanding. You do not need a dramatic reason to be depleted. A day can drain you through accumulation, a little tension here, a little disappointment there, a conversation you replayed, a decision you postponed, a problem you could not solve, a need you met without being asked, a hope you carried carefully because you were afraid to speak it aloud, a memory arriving at the wrong moment, a worry about someone you love, a pressure that followed you from one room to another. Each piece may have seemed manageable by itself. Together, they asked a great deal from you. You may have told yourself that none of it was serious enough to explain how you feel. Your body does not measure strain by whether it sounds important when described to someone else. It responds to what it has carried. It responds to how long it remained prepared. It responds to how often you asked it to move past its own signals. It responds to the effort of appearing fine. You do not have to appear fine here. You do not have to brighten your voice. You do not have to make your feelings easier for anyone else to receive. You can be quiet without apologizing for the quiet. You can be unfinished without becoming a problem. You can feel low on words. You can feel low on certainty. You can stop trying to explain yourself, even to yourself. The night does not need a polished version of you. It does not ask you to summarize the day. It does not require you to identify every lesson before you close your eyes. It does not wait for you to become peaceful before offering darkness, stillness, and a place to lie down. You may come as you are, with the unanswered message, with the room not quite in order, with a thought still circling, with a choice not yet made, with feelings that have no neat name, with the part of you that wishes you had done more, with the part of you that knows you already did enough. Both parts can be here without arguing. Nothing must be settled between them now. The voice that says keep going may have helped you survive many demanding seasons. It may believe that constant attention is the only thing standing between you and disorder. It may worry that if you loosen your grip, something important will be forgotten. It may fear that delaying a task means disappointing someone. It may have learned that being useful is the safest way to remain valued. That voice is not your enemy. It is trying to protect you with an old method. You do not have to fight it into silence. You can acknowledge what it is afraid of. You can understand why it became alert. You can thank it for helping you reach this hour. Then you can tell it that the body's answer carries more weight now. There is wisdom in the slowing. There is intelligence in the long sigh. There is honesty in the wish to withdraw from noise. There is no prize hidden inside the last exhausted effort of the day. There is no secret virtue in making yourself smaller than your obligations. You have already given your attention. You have already offered your hands. You have already spent thought, patience, movement, care, and time. What remains does not have to be spent merely because it is there. A small amount of energy is still precious. It does not become useless because it can, but complete another task. It can become warmth. It can become quiet. It can become the ease of not responding. It can become the moment your head settles more fully into the pillow. It can become the choice to leave the phone untouched. It can become the space in which your breathing no longer has to hurry after you. You may be used to measuring a day by what was completed. The body measures differently. It remembers whether you ate. It remembers whether you breathed deeply enough to feel your ribs move. It remembers whether you were startled, hurried, interrupted, or braced. It remembers the moments when you wanted to cry and decided there was no time. It remembers when you needed comfort and chose usefulness instead. It does not keep this memory to accuse you. It keeps it because your body is always trying to return you to balance. The ache is information. The heaviness is information. The wish to be left alone is information. The sudden tenderness is information. The feeling that one more small request might be too much is information. You are permitted to listen before the message becomes louder. You do not need to wait until you cannot continue. You do not need to collapse before you deserve care. You do not need to prove exhaustion by becoming unable to function. You can respond while there is still a quiet choice available. That choice can be modest. Nothing dramatic is required. You do not have to transform your life before bed. You do not have to promise that tomorrow will be different. You do not have to create a new routine or solve the deeper reasons you have been running low. For now, listening is enough. The body has voted for less light, less sound, less reaching, less explaining, less carrying, less responsibility for the next few hours. It has voted for a slower breath and a place where your weight can be received. It has voted for the end of performance. It has voted for no more proving. It has voted for the relief of being a living person rather than a source of endless output. Let that vote count. You may feel resistance as you hear this. A thought may rise and say that there is still something you should check. You may remember a task you had nearly forgotten. You may feel an urge to review tomorrow to make sure nothing catches you unprepared. You may worry that calm will make you careless. You may fear that the moment you stop paying attention, something will go wrong. This is how a strained mind tries to protect the future. It stays awake at the door. It rehearses. It predicts. It revisits. It imagines that enough thinking can prevent pain. It imagines that vigilance is the same as safety. Your mind may not release its post immediately. It does not have to. You are not demanding perfect peace from it. You are letting the rest of you become quieter, even while a few thoughts remain active, though it can move without being followed. A concern can exist without becoming an assignment. A memory can pass without needing interpretation. A plan can wait without disappearing. You are not abandoning your life when you stop thinking about it for a while. You are returning to the part of life that happens beneath thought. Breath, warmth, weight, heartbeat. Darkness, the quiet work of the body when it is no longer being directed every moment. You have trusted yourself with many difficult things. You can trust yourself to remember what matters later. You can trust that a task left untouched for several hours is not automatically lost. You can trust that morning will bring a different kind of mind. Not a perfect mind, not a mind without responsibilities, a mind that has had distance from the noise, a mind that may see one simple next step where the evening mind saw a wall. There are matters that do not become clearer through late-hour pressure. They become harsher. Every choice can look final when you are depleted. Every uncertainty can feel larger. Every mistake can seem permanent. Every delay can appear to be a verdict on your worth. These are not reliable measurements. They are signs that your resources have been used. The same situation may feel different after your system has had care. You do not have to solve from the lowest point of your energy. You do not have to make meaning while you are worn thin. You do not have to decide who you are based on how you feel at the end of a demanding day. This hour is not a fair judge of your life. It sees through the lens of strain. Let its conclusions remain unsigned. You can revisit them when your thoughts are less crowded. You can leave the hard question on the edge of the night without carrying it into every breath. You can say, "This matters, and I will meet it later." You can say, "I do not know yet." You can say, "No answer is needed from me now." These are not failures of courage. They are forms of wisdom. There is courage in refusing to force clarity. There is courage in accepting that your capacity has a boundary. There is courage in choosing not to harm yourself with one more hour of pressure. You have likely spent years hearing messages that glorified the person who never stopped. the person who answered at every hour, the person who kept smiling, the person who treated their own needs like an inconvenience, the person who could be counted on without ever needing anyone to count on. Such praise can feel warm at first. Over time, it can teach you to disappear inside your usefulness. You are more than the help you provide. You are more than the problems you solve. You are more than the emotional steadiness you offer others. You are more than your availability. You are more than your capacity to endure. The hours when you do nothing for anyone are still part of your life. The moments when you are not much reductive are not empty spaces. Your value does not leave the room when your work ends. Your place in the world is not canceled when you close your eyes. You do not have to earn your way into this bed. You do not have to make one final sacrifice. You do not have to finish the day impressively. You have reached the part where no performance is needed. The face you held together can loosen. The voice you kept pleasant can become silent. The feelings you postponed can remain unnamed without being pushed away. You do not have to process everything at once. Sometimes care means turning toward a feeling. Sometimes care means giving it no more demands. You can let sadness be quiet. You can let frustration be quiet. You can let disappointment lie beside you without becoming a conversation. You can let loneliness exist without proving that it will last forever. You can let uncertainty be present without treating it as danger. The night can contain what you do not understand. You do not have to contain it all by yourself. You may have carried another person's mood today. You may have sensed tension before anyone named it. You may have adjusted your words to keep the peace. You may have taken responsibility for comfort that was not yours alone to create. You may have watched someone struggle and wished you could remove what hurt them. You may have worried in advance, trying to prepare your heart for every possibility. Care can move through the body like work. Love can be exhausting when it becomes constant readiness. Concern can tighten the muscles even when you are sitting still. This does not make your love wrong. It means love needs somewhere to lie down too. You cannot keep every person safe with your attention. You cannot carry someone into wellness through worry. You cannot improve every outcome by remaining awake. There are limits to what devotion can control. Accepting that limit may feel painful. It may also be the beginning of relief. You can care without continuing to strain. You can love without holding every possibility in your chest. You can wish someone well and let your thoughts return to the room where you are. You can release the role of watcher for these hours. The people you love are not abandoned because you sleep. The world is not neglected because you become still. Your responsibilities do not become proof of failure because they wait. Waiting does not ruin everything. Waiting can protect what is wise from being handled by hands that have done enough. Waiting can keep a tired mind from turning a small problem into a hopeless one. Waiting can give the heart time to become less frightened. Waiting can be an act of respect for your limits. There may be a few things that truly need attention soon. Soon is not the same as now. Urgency often speaks with a louder voice than truth. You can let the loudness pass before you decide what deserves you. You can separate what is important from what is merely insistent. You do not have to make that separation perfectly this evening. You only have to decline one more round of pressure. The body has already placed its answer before you. You may honor it without asking permission from the whole world. You may stop where you are. You may leave a sentence unfinished. You may let the room remain imperfect. You may let tomorrow meet a version of you that was not emptied completely the night before. This is not giving up. It is ending at the right place. There is a right place to end, even when the work is incomplete. The day itself ended without completing everything in the world. The sky did not apologize for becoming dark while people still had plans. You do not have to apologize for reaching your own evening limit. The unfinished pieces can remain where they are. You are not required to keep them alive with your attention. You may feel your mind searching for an exception. Just this one task, just this one message, just this one check. The mind often offers a small doorway back into the same strain. It promises that after one more thing, peace will come. Then another thing appears. Peace does not always arrive because the list ends. Sometimes peace begins because you end your participation in the list. You can stop before everything stops asking. You can close your eyes while life remains unfinished. You can belong to yourself for these hours. Nothing about that is selfish. A person cannot keep giving from a place that is never replenished. Even care becomes brittle when there is no inward care beneath it. Even patience becomes painful when it is stretched without recovery. Even love can begin to feel like duty when the person offering it has no quiet place to return to. You deserve that quiet place. Not because you were good enough today, not because you completed enough, not because someone else agrees. You deserve it because you are alive, and living beings have rhythms, effort and release, attention and withdrawal, movement and stillness, giving and receiving. You were never meant to remain in only one half of that rhythm. The part that receives may have been neglected. It has not disappeared. It is here in the way the mattress meets your back. It is here in the air touching your skin. It is here in the fact that you do not have to hold up your own weight while lying down. The surface beneath you is already doing something for you. You can let that be enough for this moment. You do not have to help it. You do not have to deserve its support. You can feel how much of your day was spent holding yourself upright, holding a posture, holding an expression, holding an opinion back, holding tears, holding plans, holding other people's expectations, holding your own standards. Now, something else can carry your physical weight. Let that truth reach the places that are still working. Your neck does not have to keep your head lifted. Your hands do not have to prepare for the next action. Your feet do not have to take you anywhere. Your eyes do not have to search for what needs attention. Your ears do not have to listen for a request. Your mouth does not have to find the right words. For this part of the night, the body's vote carries. It has chosen quiet over completion. It has chosen recovery over one more proof of strength. It has chosen to stop answering questions that can wait. You may not feel fully ready. Readiness is not required. The body can begin to settle before the mind agrees. The breath can slow while thoughts continue. The hands can become still while responsibility remains real. You do not need every part of you to move at once. Let the willing parts begin. Let the eyes grow heavier. Let the tongue rest in the mouth. Let the fingers uncurl from whatever they were prepared to grasp. Let the space between your brows lose a little of its effort. A little is enough. There is no test here. There is no correct depth of calm. There is no standard you must reach before the night can care for you. You may arrive slowly. You may remain restless for a while. You may need several waves of thought before the inner noise thins. None of that means you are doing this badly. A body that has spent the day alert may take time to believe the demands have ended. You can show it through small signs. No new task, no new conversation, no new decision, no new demand. The message becomes clearer each time you choose not to re-enter the day. You are here now. The work of these hours is different. Not forcing, not fixing, not carrying. Only listening to the honest answer that has been offered again and again. Enough for now. The words may feel unfamiliar. Let them remain simple. Enough for now does not erase your care. Enough for now does not make you unreliable. Enough for now does not deny tomorrow. It creates the possibility that you can meet tomorrow without having spent every last part of yourself. You are not a machine shutting down. You are a living person returning to a natural rhythm. Your needs are not interruptions. Your limits are not betrayals. Your weariness is not evidence against you. It is a message from a faithful part of you that has carried you through every hour, even when you were too busy to listen. You are listening now. That changes the quality of this moment. Nothing else must change yet. The list may remain. The unanswered questions may remain. The uncertain future may remain. You do not have to remove them before you become still. You are not waiting for life to become easy. You are choosing not to make this hour harder. Your body has already voted. For once, its answer can stand. There may still be a part of you paying at attention. Even here, even with the day no longer asking for your active participation, something inside may remain ready, ready to answer, ready to explain, ready to prevent disappointment, ready to catch what others overlook. That readiness did not appear without a reason. You may have spent a long time living as the person who notices first. You see when someone's voice changes. You sense when a room becomes tense. You remember what was promised. You know which detail will be forgotten if you do not carry it. You see what needs cleaning, replacing, planning, arranging, checking, or repairing before anyone else names it. Much of this happens so quickly that you may not call it effort. You call it being responsible. You call it caring. You call it doing what has to be done. Still, each quiet act asks something from your nervous system. Each act asks for attention, selection, restraint, memory, and energy. When they collect across a day, they can leave you feeling strangely empty, even when nothing dramatic occurred. You may wonder why you feel depleted. You may say the day was ordinary. An ordinary day can be heavy when you are the one carrying its hidden parts. There was the moment you changed your words because the truth seemed too difficult for someone else to hear. There was the request you accepted before checking whether you had room. There was the discomfort you swallowed because you did not want to create a problem. There was the task you completed while thinking about 3 others. There was the smile you offered to keep another person from worrying. There was the ache you ignored because you believed you could attend to it later. Later kept moving. The hour arrived, and there was still another reason to postpone yourself. You may have promised that you would slow down after the conversation, after the work, after the meal, after everyone settled, after you checked one last thing. The conditions kept changing. Your care kept adapting. Your own need remained in the waiting place. It is understandable that the waiting place became familiar. You may even feel uneasy when nothing is required. A quiet room can reveal how long you have been bracing. The absence of demands can make the body tremble before it loosens. That does not mean stillness is wrong for you. It means you have been carrying momentum. Momentum does not disappear the instant you lie down. The mind may continue walking through rooms you have already left. It may return to faces, words, and unfinished moments. It may attempt to improve conversations that no longer exist. It may imagine different outcomes and search for the precise action that would have made everything easier. This can feel like responsibility, but often it is strain trying to disguise itself as usefulness. You do not have to correct the past from this pillow. You do not have to enter every memory that knocks. Some memories arrive because the mind finally has enough quiet to release what it could not process earlier. Their arrival does not always mean they require your involvement. They may pass through like sounds beyond a closed window. You can know they are there without getting up to investigate. Perhaps one particular moment keeps returning. A look you misunderstood, a sentence you wish you had changed, a chance you did not take, a mistake that now seems larger because the house is quiet. You might be tempted to turn that moment into a judgment of your whole self. You are not one moment. You are not the worst sentence you spoke under pressure. You are not the task you forgot. You are not the decision that became complicated. You are not the way you reacted when your inner resources were low. There may be something to repair later. There may be an apology to offer, a boundary to clarify, or a choice to reconsider. Repair is not strengthened by self-punishment. Clarity is not created by keeping yourself emotionally cornered. A wiser response often becomes possible when shame has loosened its grip. You can take responsibility without becoming cruel to yourself. You can admit what you wish had gone differently without deciding that you are unworthy of peace. You can carry a lesson without carrying a sentence against your value. There is a difference between conscience and punishment. Conscience guides, punishment circles. Conscience says, there is something here I want to meet with honesty. Punishment says, you must suffer before you are permitted to move forward. You do not need suffering to prove that you care. The fact that the moment returns may already show how deeply you care. You can meet it when you have more steadiness. For now, let it remain a note rather than a verdict. There may also be moments from today that you handled beautifully and never acknowledged. You chose patience when impatience would have been easier. You completed something you had been avoiding. You remained present during a difficult conversation. You gave another person space. You recognized a limit. You kept going through a private sadness. You made a kind decision no one will ever know about. You did not become everything pain asked you to become. These moments matter too. The mind often studies what hurt and overlooks what carried you. It scans for danger because it wants to protect you. It repeats errors because it believes repetition will prevent them. It points toward what remains undone because incompletion feels uncertain. You can understand this habit without surrendering the whole night to it. You can remind yourself that protection also includes recovery. Protection can look like lying still. Protection can look like lowering the brightness. Protection can look like declining to examine your life through the narrow lens of depletion. The part of you that worries may insist that vigilance keeps you safe. Sometimes vigilance helped you. It may have helped you read unpredictable moods. It may have helped you prepare for changing circumstances. It may have helped you become dependable when the people around you were not. It may have helped you avoid criticism, conflict, or rejection. A skill that once protected you can become exhausting when it never receives permission to stand down. You do not have to reject that skill. You can let it know that its shift is over. No one is asking it to disappear forever. It can return when there is a real need. For these hours, it does not have to patrol every possibility. You might imagine that without this alertness, you would become careless. Care and vigilance are not the same. Care has warmth. Vigilance has tension. Care can respond when something occurs. Vigilance tries to live through everything before it happens. Care trusts that you can meet life as it comes. Vigilance believes you must prepare for every path at once. You have spent enough energy walking imaginary roads. You can stay where you are. The room around you asks for very little. Around. The bed does not need you to perform. The dark does not need you to be cheerful. The quiet does not require an explanation. This space can receive the version of you that has no answer. It can receive the version that is disappointed. It can receive the version that wants to stop being brave for a while. It can receive the version that does not know how to ask for care. You may be someone others lean on. That role can become so complete that people forget you also need somewhere to lean. You may forget too. You may become uncomfortable when someone offers help. You may hurry to reassure them that you are fine. You may reduce your need before anyone has the chance to meet it. You may say it is not a big deal. You may tell yourself that others have more serious problems. Pain does not need to win a competition before it deserves compassion. Weariness does not need to become a crisis before it matters. Your inner life is worthy of attention even when you can still complete your duties. Being capable does not mean being untouched. Being reliable does not mean being endlessly available. Being loving does not mean you must always be the strongest person in the room. Strength can include receiving. Strength can include saying, "I cannot carry this part today." Strength can include silence. Strength can include sleeping before every concern is resolved. You may have inherited a different definition. Perhaps strength meant never showing discomfort. Perhaps it meant hiding fear. Perhaps it meant continuing without complaint. Perhaps it meant meeting everyone's expectations while asking for almost nothing. That kind of strength may have helped you survive, but survival habits are not always instructions for every season. You are permitted to learn another form of strength, one that does not require your body to absorb every cost, one that includes honesty, one that leaves room for your limits, one that can say, "This is difficult for me," one that can accept care without immediately repaying it, one that understands that the human system was not designed for constant demand. You are not failing because effort has consequences. Muscles become heavy, thoughts become slower, emotions become more sensitive. Patience becomes thinner. The smallest task can begin to feel enormous. These responses do not mean you have lost your way. They may mean you have reached the point where replenishment is necessary. No moral judgment is hidden inside that need. A lamp does not become irresponsible when its oil runs low. A voice does not become weak because it needs silence after speaking all day. A mind does not become defective because too many decisions have made it foggy. A heart does not become selfish because it cannot keep absorbing everyone's pain. The body is not accusing you. It is asking for partnership. It has carried every thought through chemistry, every emotion through sensation, every effort through movement. Even the work no one saw move through your physical being. The waiting, the worrying, the pretending not to worry, the careful tone, the swallowed response, the pressure to choose correctly, the effort of remaining composed. All of it had a physical home. You may feel that home now as heaviness, tightness, buzzing, dullness, or an inability to settle. There is no shame in this. You have not failed at peace because peace does not arrive instantly. You have not failed at letting go because some part of you remains tense. Tension can be met without becoming another problem to solve. You do not have to force the jaw open. You do not have to command the heart to become calm. You do not have to chase every thought away. Force would only give your system one more instruction to obey. Instead, you can become less demanding. You can say, nothing in me has to change immediately. You can say, this tightness may be here while I am safe in this room. You can say, the mind may speak while the body lies down. You can say, I do not have to achieve a perfect inner state. Such words do not erase discomfort. They remove the second burden. The burden of believing discomfort means you are doing something wrong. There is the original strain. Then there is the judgment placed on top of it. Why am I like this? Why can't I switch off? Why am I so affected? Why am I not stronger? Those questions can turn depletion into shame. You do not need to answer them. You can replace them with kinder truths. Of course I am affected. I have been carrying a lot. Of course my mind is active. It has been responsible for many things. Of course I need time. I have been moving quickly. Of course I feel tender. I have had to be strong. Nothing about these truths makes you helpless. They make you understandable. You are not a mystery that must be solved before morning. You are a human being responding to pressure. Your responses may deserve support. They do not deserve contempt. There is an important honesty to include here. Quiet, recovery, and regular sleep can support the body and mind. They can create space for repair, steadier attention, and emotional balance. They are not medical treatment, and they should not be treated as a substitute for real care. If exhaustion keeps following you, if burnout has made ordinary life feel unreachable, or if low mood has become persistent, you deserve support beyond private endurance. A qualified medical or mental health professional can help you understand what is happening and what care may fit. Reaching for that help is not an admission of failure. It is another way of listening to the signals your system has been sending. You do not have to decide anything about that right now. The possibility of support can remain nearby without becoming another task for this hour. It is enough to know that you were never expected to carry every struggle alone. Professional care, trusted people, honest conversations, practical changes, and periods of recovery can belong together. One form of support does not cancel another. You are worthy of care in more than one place. You are worthy of care before you reach a breaking point. You are worthy of care even if others believe you are coping well. The outside can look organized while the inside is running low. People may see your completed work. They may not see the energy it took. They may see you answer. They may not see how long you stared at the message before finding words. They may see you arrive. They may not see what you had to overcome to leave the house. They may see competence. They may not see the quiet longing to be relieved of responsibility. You do not need their full understanding before you can honor your experience. It can be true even when it is invisible. You may have spent today giving more than was obvious. Emotional labor often leaves no object behind. There is no finished document that proves you listened carefully. There is no receipt for the patience you used. There is no photograph of the moment you kept someone from feeling alone. There is no public record of how often you prevented tension from becoming conflict. Still, these things cost energy. Your inner account includes them. It includes the worry you held on behalf of someone else. It includes the care you put into ordinary choices. It includes the way you tried to protect people from your own difficult feelings. It includes the courage required to continue when you felt discouraged. The account is not empty because you did too little. It is low because you spent from it. You may let that truth be neutral. No blame, no accusation, only recognition. You gave. Now there is less available. Less available does not mean less worthy. It does not mean less loving. It does not mean you must borrow from tomorrow to finish today. You can preserve what remains. You can stop spending attention on conversations that are not happening. You can stop rehearsing explanations for people who are not present. You can stop planning how you will manage every possible reaction. You can stop searching for the perfect response to a future question. Future you will have information that present you does not have. Future you may have more energy. Future you may receive help. Future you may discover that the feared situation never arrived. You do not need to complete future you's work in advance. Trust does not require certainty. It can begin as a small refusal to predict everything. It can sound like this: I will meet what comes when it comes. I do not need to meet it now. That is enough. You may have learned to confuse worry with preparation. Preparation has an end. Worry keeps reopening the file. Preparation creates a step. Worry creates 1,000 scenes. Preparation can be completed. Worry demands continuous attention and never declares the task finished. If you have done what can reasonably be done, more thinking may not protect you. It may only keep your body in the same state it used to survive the earlier hours. You can release the idea that every open concern requires an open nervous system. A concern can remain unresolved while your muscles loosen. A responsibility can remain real while your breathing becomes easier. Love can remain active while your eyes close. Nothing valuable disappears when you become unavailable for a while. The people who depend on you may still need you tomorrow. That is one reason not to empty yourself entirely tonight. You are not refusing them. You are tending the person who meets them. There may be guilt here. Guilt can arise whenever you do something unfamiliar, even if the unfamiliar thing is healthy. It may tell you that lying down is indulgent. It may tell you that someone else is still working. It may remind you of what remains undone. It may compare your needs with those of people who have less. You do not have to argue with guilt for hours. You can say, "I hear you," but you are not the only voice. Need also has a voice. The body also has a voice. Compassion also has a voice. Wisdom also has a voice. No one voice has to be destroyed for another to be followed. You can feel guilty and still choose the bed. You can feel uncertain and still stop. You can feel responsible and still become unavailable. Feelings do not have to approve your decision before it is wise. Sometimes a boundary feels wrong only because self-neglect felt normal. Sometimes receiving feels uncomfortable because giving became your identity. Sometimes quiet feels unsafe because noise kept you from hearing your own needs. Discomfort is not always a warning. It may be the sensation of a new pattern beginning. You do not have to make the pattern permanent tonight. You are not signing a lifelong contract. You are choosing these hours, only these hours. A small part of the night in which you no longer volunteer for every burden. The mind may return to its list. Let it. A list appearing is not a command. A name appearing is not a request. A future conversation appearing is not an appointment you must attend now. The mind can offer material without controlling your actions. You can watch the thought arrive. You can let it stay unanswered. You can feel the urge to reach for the phone and remain where you are. The urge may rise. It may become strong. It may tell you that one glance will create relief. Often, one glance opens the door to many more. You do not need to prove your discipline by fighting the urge aggressively. You can make your choice quieter than that. The phone can remain where it is. Your hands can remain still. Your eyes can remain away from the light. You can let the urge complete its own movement. An urge is a wave of instruction, not a law. It builds, it speaks, it changes. You can outlast it without tension. No announcement is needed. No promise is needed. You stay here. That is all. There may be people you disappointed today. There may be people who disappointed you. Both realities can wait outside the boundaries of this hour. You do not have to defend yourself in imaginary conversations. You do not have to make them understand. You do not have to find the sentence that would finally cause another person to see your heart correctly. Being misunderstood hurts because you care about connection. You may wish you could enter someone else's mind and rearrange the picture they formed of you. You cannot control every picture. You can live with integrity. You can clarify what is yours to clarify. You can make amends where needed. You can also accept that some people will interpret you through their own wounds, expectations, and limitations. You do not need to solve their perception before you lie still. You remain yourself even when someone misunderstands you. You remain worthy even when another person is unhappy. You remain deserving of quiet even when a relationship is unsettled. A difficult conversation does not revoke your human needs. Neither does a mistake. Neither does a delay. Neither does an imperfect day. You may have believed that comfort must be earned by completion. Yet completion is rare. There will always be another dish, another message, another plan, another uncertainty, another improvement you could make. If ease is postponed until nothing remains, ease will never arrive. You are learning to enter it while life is incomplete. That is not denial, it is rhythm. The unfinished world can continue beyond this room. You do not have to be its night watch. You have done what you could with the resources you had. Where you fell short, you can return with honesty. Where others ask too much, you can return with boundaries. Where life was simply difficult, you can return with compassion. No court is in session now. No final judgment is being written. You are not required to present a defense. You can withdraw from the inner trial. Let the arguments lose their audience. Let the evidence remain unopened. Let the harsh voice speak into an emptier room until it grows quiet from lack of engagement. You do not have to defeat it. You do not have to believe it. You can stop participating. The absence of participation is powerful. It is how the day begins to release its claim. Not because every problem has vanished, because you are no longer feeding each one with your final energy. You can save that energy for your own return. The return may be quiet, a little more warmth in the hands, a little less pressure behind the eyes, a breath that reaches lower, a thought that passes without pulling the next one behind it. A brief moment in which you forget what you were worried about. These are not small failures of attention. They are signs that another rhythm is becoming possible. You do not have to monitor the rhythm. The moment you check whether you are settling, you may feel alert again. That is all right. Nothing has been lost. You can come back without criticism. Back to the weight beneath you, back to the air entering and leaving, back to the knowledge that the door does not need guarding by your thoughts, back to the simple truth that no fault is being assigned here. You carried what you knew how to carry. You coped in the ways available to you. You reached this hour with your tenderness still alive. That matters. Even if you were impatient, even if you withdrew, even if you felt numb, even if you did not recognize yourself in one difficult moment, your tenderness is still here because you care that these things happened. You are not broken. You are depleted. Depletion is not identity. It is a condition that asks for replenishment, honesty, and sometimes help. It can change, not through punishment, not through shame, not through demanding that you recover immediately. It changes through being met, through nourishment, through reduced pressure, through real support, through the decision to stop treating every signal as an inconvenience. Your signals are not inconveniences now. They are the most honest language in the room. The heavy eyes, the long breath, the slowed thoughts, the wish to be done. The body's answer remains clear. It does not accuse you. It does not call you weak. It does not ask you to explain why you reached your limit. It only asks that the limit be believed. You may believe it now. You may let enough be in. Believing the limit does not make the body recover all at once. It does something quieter. It stops adding new strain. That matters more than it may seem. When you stop asking yourself for one more answer, one more decision, or one more act of composure, you create a small opening. The body no longer has to prepare for the next instruction. The mind no longer has to sort every thought into something useful. The heart no longer has to turn every feeling into a lesson before the feeling has even passed. You are not required to manage the whole process. Much of what restores you happens without your direction. Your breathing continues. Your heart keeps its rhythm. Your temperature adjusts. Your muscles receive the message that they are no longer needed for movement. The mind begins to place distance between this moment and the sharpest parts of the day. This is not dramatic work. It is patient work. It is the kind that asks you to interfere less. You may be accustomed to creating improvement through effort. You make a plan, follow steps, correct mistakes, and measure progress. That approach can be useful in the daylight. It does not belong everywhere. Some forms of repair begin when effort loosens. You cannot command your thoughts to become perfectly ordered. You can reduce what they must respond to. You cannot force your emotions to settle on a schedule. You can stop giving them new reasons to brace. You cannot make the body renew itself through determination. You can offer time, darkness, nourishment, and fewer demands. The system inside you already knows many of its ordinary tasks. It does not need a speech. It does not need motivation. It does not need you to supervise every breath. When the day becomes quieter, the body turns toward its own maintenance. Muscles that work to carry and protect you can release some of their effort. The mind can sort impressions that arrive too quickly to be understood. Memories can lose some of their immediate sharpness as they are placed farther from the present moment. Nothing magical is being promised. You may wake with responsibilities still waiting. A difficult situation may remain difficult. A feeling may still need care. Even so, a period without demands can give you more room around what you carry. Room matters. A worry held in a depleted mind can fill the whole inner world. The same worry, met with greater steadiness, may become one part of a larger life. A decision that seems impossible now may reveal a first step later. A conversation that feels unbearable may become something you can approach slowly and honestly. The hours ahead do not have to erase your problems to support you. They only need to stop increasing the load. You can let the night be useful in this modest, faithful way. It does not rush in to rescue you. It does not demand a breakthrough. It gives the system weird things to answer. That is enough work for now. You may notice that some part of you still wants to help the process. It may ask whether your breathing is slow enough or whether you feel calm enough. It may search your body to see which places remain tense. You do not have to inspect yourself. You have been inspected by your own mind enough today. You can exist without evaluation. If your breathing is shallow, it is still breathing. If your heart feels unsettled, it is still carrying you. If your muscles remain tight, they are not failing. They may be waiting for more signs that the demands have truly ended. Those signs arrive through consistency. Nothing new is asked. Nothing urgent enters. No bright screen tells the eyes to begin another day. No message pulls the mind into another person's needs. No decision requires the body to prepare. Minute by minute, the absence of new demands becomes believable. The body does not always trust words immediately. It trusts what keeps happening. It trusts the phone remaining untouched. It trusts the room remaining dim. It trusts your hands no longer reaching. It trusts the same quiet continuing. You do not need to announce that you are safe. You can show it through what you no longer require of yourself. The deepest relief may begin there, not in a grand feeling, in the end of instructions. You have lived through hours filled with instructions, even when no one spoke them aloud. Remember this. Answer that. Be patient. Do not show irritation. Think ahead. Keep moving. Try harder. Stay pleasant. Do not forget. Make it easier for everyone. Each instruction tightens something. Now the instructions can end. No sentence needs to follow. The quiet is not empty. It is where your system discovers that it can stop responding. You may feel the day returning in pieces. This is natural. The mind may bring back something from the morning, then jump to tomorrow, then return to a face, a room, or a sentence. It is sorting. It is moving through what remains active. You do not need to follow the order. It may not make sense. The mind does not always file the day like a careful clerk. Sometimes it releases fragments, a tone of voice, a color, a small embarrassment, a forgotten task, a moment of kindness, a fear that never came true. Let the fragments move. They do not all need meaning. Some are only leftovers of attention. You can let them lose their sharp edges without deciding where they belong. The less you chase them, the less they must defend their place. You are not trying to empty the mind. You are becoming less available to every thought. That distinction can bring relief. A full mind can still become quiet in its relationship with you. Thoughts may remain, but they no longer have to become orders. Images may come, but they no longer have to become journeys. Questions may rise, but they no longer have to become work. You can let each one exist at a distance, Child, the mind can speak. You do not have to answer. This is one of the ways recovery begins, not through the absence of interactivity, but through the end of constant participation. You may have participated in everything today, every mood in the room, every possible outcome, every unspoken expectation, every small shift in another person's face. You may have noticed so much that the world entered you without a filter. Now the boundary can return. This room is here. Your body is here. The rest of life is elsewhere. You are not required to travel there in thought. A person may be awake somewhere, but you do not have to join their wakefulness. A task may remain unfinished somewhere, but you do not have to stand beside it. A problem may exist, but it does not need to occupy the bed with you. You can let distance be real. Distance is not neglect. It is one of the ways perspective becomes possible. When you step back from a painting, you see shapes that were invisible when your face was too close to the surface. In the same way, a little distance can change what the mind can understand. You do not need to search for that understanding now. Let distance do its work without being watched. Your system is not repaired by pressure. It is supported by rhythm. Effort is followed by less effort. Attention is followed by quiet. Movement is followed by stillness. This rhythm has carried living things long before anyone learned to measure productivity. You belong to that older wisdom. You have a body that responds to light and darkness. A body that knows the difference between standing and lying down. A body that listens to repeated signals. A body that can begin again after being overused. You do not have to earn your place inside that rhythm. It already includes you. You may have moved against it for reasons that made sense. Work had to be done. People needed you. Circumstances did not make space. Your mind may have remained active long after the physical tasks ended. There is no blame in acknowledging this. Blame does not restore energy. Honesty can. The honest truth is that you need a period in which nothing is extracted from you. No answer, no performance, no emotional labor, no proof. A period in which your existence is not measured by what another person receives. This can feel strange because receiving without repayment may be unfamiliar. The bed supports you and asks nothing. The darkness covers the room and asks nothing. The hours continue without asking you to push them forward. You can be carried by time instead of chased by it. You do not have to make the night happen. It moves on its own. Let that be one less responsibility. Your breath also moves on its own. You can feel it enter without pulling it. You can feel it leave without sending it away. The next one comes. The next one leaves. He body continues this exchange without needing to be persuaded. That quiet competence is still within you. Even when you feel scattered, even when you feel worn down, even when your thoughts say that you are not coping well. There are parts of you still carrying out their work with great patience. The heart does not shame you for being overwhelmed. The lungs do not ask whether you were productive enough. The muscles do not demand an explanation for the strain they contain. They respond to conditions. When the conditions become kinder, they begin to answer kindness. Not instantly, not perfectly, in their own time. You can offer kinder conditions without demanding a result. That is important. Care becomes another burden when it is used as a test. If you tell yourself that you must feel better because you are lying down, pressure returns. If you watch for signs of improvement, you may become alert. If you judge the time it takes to settle, you recreate the hurry you are trying to leave. No result is required. This hour does not have to prove its value. You may remain awake. You may drift and return. You may have thoughts. You may feel emotion moving near the surface. The body can still receive something from the reduction of demands. You do not have to know how much. You are not keeping score. The work below awareness does not need applause. It needs space. You are giving it space now. The mind may say that lying still accomplishes nothing. The mind is used to visible evidence. It trusts the checked box, the sent message, the cleaned room, the finished page. It may not understand forms of care that leave no immediate object behind. Yet not everything valuable can be displayed. A steadier heartbeat cannot be placed on a table. A mind with slightly more room cannot be photographed. A muscle no longer preparing for impact does not announce itself. The absence of strain is quiet. Its quietness does not make it unreal. You can let invisible care count. You have counted invisible labor for everyone else. You know that listening matters even when nothing is solved. You know that presence matters even when no advice is given. You know that patience matters even when no one praises it. Offer that same understanding inward. Lying here is not doing nothing. It is ceasing to do what has already been done enough. It is giving the body a different condition. It is making room for processes that cannot compete with constant demand. No ceremony is needed, no perfect mood, no special thought, only fewer interruptions. You have already begun. The room has grown quieter around you. The day has moved farther away. Even if your thoughts remain close to it, the clock has carried you beyond the hours in which those events occurred. They are no longer happening. The difficult sentence is not being spoken now. The rush at moment is not unfolding now. The demand is not arriving now. The face you tried to read is not in front of you now. The decision is not being placed in your hands now. Your body may be reacting as though the day continues, but the day has changed. You can give it the updated information. Nothing is being asked in this moment. Let the message be physical. Your hands remain empty. Your feet remain still. Your eyes do not search. The mouth does not prepare a response. The shoulders do not need to lift. This is how the body learns that the scene has ended, not through argument, through evidence. The evidence is all around you. The quieter room, the weight beneath you, the absence of movement, the lack of new requests, the narrowing world. The day has become smaller. You do not need to carry its full size into the night. There is another form of wisdom in the living world. It does not always meet danger by running. Sometimes protection looks like stillness. Somewhere beyond the noise of roads and rooms, tall grass rises from cool earth. The blades lean together, crossing and parting with the faint movement of air. Near the ground, where the light becomes broken and green, a young fawn is folded into itself. Its legs are tucked beneath its small body. Its head rests low. Its spotted coat disappears among sunlit leaves and pale seed heads. It does not chase safety. It becomes still inside it. The mother is not beside the fawn. To an anxious mind, that distance could look like absence. It is not absence. She circles far away on purpose. She does not draw attention toward the hidden place. She does not stand over the fawn and make its shelter visible. Her distance is part of the protection. The fawn does not understand this through words. Its body knows. It folds into the tall grass. It does not call the mother back every few moments. It does not lift its head to search every direction. It does not decide that stillness means it has been forgotten. It remains where it has been placed, close to the earth, covered by shadow and green. Its smallness is not a weakness there. Its quiet is not helplessness. Its lack of movement is not failure. Stillness is the deepest protection available to it. There is nothing dramatic in the scene. The grass shifts. Small sounds move beyond the hidden place. Light changes on the fawn's back. The mother remains at a distance, moving through the wider field with knowledge the young one does not yet possess. The fawn's task is not to understand every movement beyond the grass. Its task is not to monitor the whole field. Its task is to remain folded. The body knows how. You may feel how different that is from the way you have tried to protect yourself. You may have searched every direction. You may have tried to anticipate each sus. And you may have believed that safety depended on constant movement, constant checking, constant readiness. The fawn offers another truth. There are hours when protection comes through, becoming less visible to the demands of the world. There are hours when the wisest movement is no movement. There are hours when you do not need to know where every caring presence is or how every problem is being handled. You can remain in the place prepared for you. The grass does not ask the fawn to explain its weariness. The earth does not question why its legs are folded. The broken light does not demand that it become brave in an obvious way. Everything around it supports the one necessary act. Stay low, stay quiet. Let the wider field continue without you. You may not have had many places where this was possible. You may have been required to remain visible, reachable, responsive. Someone always knew where to find you. Someone always had another question. Even your own thoughts knew how to summon you. Now you can become less reachable. The phone does not need to lead anyone into this quiet place. The world can remain beyond the tall grass. No one has to follow you inward. You do not need to explain the boundary. The fawn does not apologize to the field for becoming still. It follows the wisdom written into its body. Your body has its own wisdom too. Heavy eyes, a slower breath, a wish to curl inward, a desire for fewer words. These are not signs that you should make yourself more available. They may be invitations to fold into the place where your system can be protected from further demand. You do not have to create the whole field in your mind. Feel only what belongs close to the ground, the coolness beneath the body, the tall blades rising around the hidden shape, the faint shift of air above, the sense that the wider world continues without requiring the young one to manage it. No creature asks the fawn to prove that it deserves this concealment. No one calls its stillness selfish. The mother does not return to assign a task. She trusts what the fawn's body knows. There is love in that trust. Love does not always stand close enough to be seen. Sometimes love creates distance so the vulnerable part can remain undisturbed. Sometimes care is present in what does not approach. The unanswered phone, the closed door, the quiet room, the hours in which no one expects a reply. Distance can be tender. You may have interpreted distance as abandonment before. Your history may have taught you to search for signs that you were still remembered. You may have believed that if care was not immediately visible, care was gone. The fawn does not need to solve that old fear. It only offers a different possibility. The mother can be out of sight and still acting with love. The field can seem empty and still be watched over. The young one see and be alone in the grass without being forsaken. You do not need to force yourself to believe this completely. Let it be a possibility near you. There may be forms of care you cannot see from where you lie. There may be people who would help if they knew what you carried. There may be strength returning in ways too quiet to measure. There may be choices waiting to become clearer when the mind has more space. You are not required to inspect the whole field. You can remain folded. The young fawn does not ask how long it will be there. It does not divide the time into manageable pieces. It does not compare its stillness with the movement of other creatures. It does not decide that everyone else is making progress while it remains hidden. Its stillness has purpose even when nothing appears to change. That truth can enter slowly. Your quiet hours are not missing life. they are part of life. The body lying down is not falling behind the body that keeps moving. It is answering a different need. The fawn's protection depends on not rising too soon. The impulse to look may come. A sound may pass through the grass. The world may offer reasons to become alert. Still, the body remains low, not frozen by shame, not defeated, protected by the wisdom of waiting. Waiting here is not the anxious waiting of the mind. It is not staring at the clock. It is not demanding that morning arrive. It is a deeper waiting, a waiting without work, a waiting that lets the earth carry the weight, a waiting that trusts movement will return when movement is needed. You have moved enough for this day. You can learn from what remains still. Let your back be received as the fawn's body is received by the cool ground. Let your arms stay near you without preparing to reach. Let your legs become heavy in the way folded legs become part of a hidden shape. Let your head settle lower. You are not trying to disappear from your life. You are becoming unavailable to unnecessary demand. That is different. You will return. The fawn will rise when the field is ready. Its legs have not forgotten how to stand. Its body has not lost its future because it became still. It is being protected for that future. You do not have to remain upright to prove you can rise later. The ability to continue is not strengthened by refusing every chance to stop. Sometimes it is preserved through stillness. You may have feared that if you truly loosened, you would never gather yourself again. This fear often belongs to those who have carried too much for too long. They believe tension is the structure keeping them together. They worry that without it, everything will scatter. Yet the fawn does not hold itself together through strain. It is supported by the curve of its own body, by the ground, by the grass, by an instinct that does not need to be explained. You can be supported by what is already beneath you. You can let your shape become simpler. No public face, no capable posture, no readiness. Only a body lying where it can no longer be asked to carry itself. The tall grass does not remove every sound from the field. It changes the fawn's relationship to the sounds. They pass above. They move beyond. They do not all enter the hidden place. Your thoughts may still pass above you. Let them move through the upper part of awareness. You do not have to rise toward them. Stay near what is simple, the weight of your body, the darkness behind your eyes, the breath moving without being watched, the small inner place where no performance is possible. This is where the body's wisdom becomes clearer. It was not asking you to abandon what matters. It was asking you to stop exposing yourself to every demand at once. It was asking for cover, for quiet, for time below the noise. You can answer now, not with more words, with stillness. The fawn does not need to know when the mother will return. It only needs to remain where protection is already present. You do not need to know exactly how morning will feel. You do not need to know which problem will become easier. You do not need to know whether every part of you will feel renewed. You only need to stop rising toward the day that has ended. Let the wider field remain wide. Let what is distant remain distant. Let what is unfinished remain beyond the grass. Your body is folded into a smaller world now, a world with fewer choices, fewer voices, fewer directions. The hidden place is enough. The earth beneath is enough. The quiet around you is enough. You do not have to make yourself safer through thought. For these hours, stillness can do what vigilance could not. The field does not ask the fawn to decide when it has been still long enough. That decision belongs to a wisdom larger than the young creature's fear. The fawn does not measure the passing hours by how much has been achieved. It does not become ashamed because the grass above it moves while it remains low. It does not wonder whether it should be doing more with its small life. Its stillness is not empty. Its stillness is serving life. Every quiet moment keeps its tender body away from what could overwhelm it. Every moment close to the earth preserves strength that will be needed later. Every moment hidden beneath the crossing blades lets the larger field move without demanding participation. You may have forgotten that non-participation can be protective. You may have believed that you had to remain involved in everything that mattered. If someone was troubled, you had to think about it. If something was uncertain, you had to prepare for it. If a task remained, you had to keep it present in your mind. If tomorrow contained difficulty, you had to begin carrying it before it arrived. This kind of involvement can feel like love. Sometimes it is fear wearing love's clothing. It says that caring means staying tense. It says that responsibility means never turning away. It says that if you stop watching, you will fail to prevent something painful. The fawn does not prevent the field from changing. It does not prevent every sound. It does not make the mother return sooner. It cannot control the direction of the wind or the movement beyond the grass. Its safety does not come from controlling the field. Its safety comes from accepting the shelter available now. You also have shelter available now. It may not remove every uncertainty. It may not make every person kinder. It may not answer the question you carried into this room. It may not change the work waiting beyond these hours. Still, shelter does not have to solve the whole world to be real. The bed beneath you is real. The dimness around you is real. The closing of your eyes is real. The choice not to engage is real. These conditions are small compared with everything you carry, but small conditions can speak deeply to the body. They say that movement has ended. They say that no face must be read. They say that no answer is expected. They say that the inner watcher may lower its head. You do not need complete certainty before you receive this message. The fawn does not possess complete certainty. It possesses an instinctive trust in the hidden place. Trust may feel too large for you now. You do not need to create a grand feeling called trust. You can begin with willingness. A willingness to remain where you are. A willingness to leave one matter untouched. A willingness not to reach for more information. A willingness to let the world be incomplete beyond the grass. That is enough to begin. The mind may continue asking whether the mother is near. It may want proof. It may want to lift its head above the blades and scan the whole field. You know this impulse. It is the same impulse that asks you to check the phone, to look at the time, to search for a message, to reopen a concern, to see whether something has changed while you were trying to become quiet. The impulse promises certainty. Most often, it brings the field back into the hidden place. A bright screen can carry many lives into the room at once. A message can reopen a role you had begun to set down. A headline can give your body a new danger to hold. A number on the clock can become another judgment. You do not need to punish yourself for wanting to check. The desire comes from the part of you that believes knowledge creates safety. Sometimes knowledge helps. Sometimes the kindest knowledge is knowing that you have reached your limit. The field will continue without your watch. The people you care for will continue through their own hours. The tasks will remain where you left them. The unanswered questions do not need to be refreshed before dawn. Let the phone stay down now. Let your eyes remain closed. Nothing more needs to enter. This is not a command made against you. It is a kindness offered to the part of you that has already received too much. You have taken in voices, images, requests, expressions, and expectations. You have taken in worries that belong to you and worries that belong to others. You have taken in more than the mind could fully sort. The hidden place becomes protective because it limits what enters. Tall grass narrows the fawn's world. It does not see the entire field. It sees what is near. A crossing stem, a patch of earth, a small change in light. The nearness is enough. Your world can narrow too. Not forever. Only until the body no longer feels responsible for the horizon. You do not have to think about the coming week. You do not have to think about the whole of tomorrow. You do not have to think about the next hour. Let the world become the weight beneath you, the air at your face, the darkness behind your eyelids, the slight rise and lowering of your body. Nothing farther away requires your attention. The fawn's body is folded not because it has surrendered its future, but because it is preserving itself for that future. There will be a time to rise. There will be a time to step through the grass. There will be a time to follow movement, warmth, and the familiar presence returning. That time is not improved by standing too soon. You may have stood too soon many times. You may have returned to responsibility before your inner resources had gathered. You may have answered that you were fine because the world seemed impatient with anything else. You may have treated a brief absence of crisis as proof that you should become useful again. You may have risen from moments of quiet, with the body still asking for more. This was not a failure. It may have been the only way you knew to keep life moving. Now another way can be imagined. You can remain folded a little longer. You can let the first small feeling of ease stay unspent. You do not have to turn it immediately into productivity. You do not have to use every returning bit of energy to catch up. Some returning strength can remain yours. It can stay within you without becoming service. This may be unfamiliar. You may feel a pull to convert every good feeling into action. If you become calmer, you think you should plan. If you feel slightly clearer, you think you should solve. If your body grows less heavy, you think you should get up. The fawn does not confuse the first sign of safety with a command to move. It stays low until the deeper signal arrives. You can honor that same patience. A small release in the shoulders does not mean the night's work is complete. A slower breath does not mean you must begin thinking again. A moment without worry does not need to be filled. Let the empty space remain empty. It is not wasted. It is becoming a place where your own life can gather. You have filled many spaces for other people. You have filled silences. You have filled gaps in plans. You have filled needs no one expressed clearly. You have filled moments when someone else did not know what to do. Now you can leave a space unfilled. The body may not know what to do with that at first. It may send another thought, another concern, another memory. That is all right. You do not have to fill the thought with attention. It can lie down among the grass as well. Nothing inside you needs to be driven away. The fawn does not remove each blade that touches its coat. It does not rearrange the earth until every point feels perfect. It adapts to small discomforts because the deeper condition is safe enough. You may feel a crease beneath you, a sound beyond the room, an emotion that has not fully settled, a thought moving at the edge of awareness. Perfect comfort is not required. Safe enough can carry you farther than perfection. Safe enough means nothing is being demanded in this moment. Safe enough means you can remain still even if the mind has not become silent. Safe enough means you do not have to inspect every sensation. Safe enough means you can let the body be imperfectly at ease. There is tenderness in accepting imperfect ease. It stops turning care into another standard. You do not need to become the best at lying down. You do not need to prove that this guidance is working. You do not need to compare this night with another night. The fawn has no earlier performance to beat. It has no score. It follows the condition of the field. This field is quieter now. This hour asks less. The body has a place beneath it. The eyes have darkness. The hands have nothing they must carry. The conditions are enough for a smaller willingness. You may say inwardly, I am willing to remain here. Nothing more. Not a promise that every fear will vanish. Not a declaration that tomorrow will be easy. Only a willingness to remain where the body is no longer being asked to move. That willingness can become a sentence. A sentence small enough to carry without effort. A sentence shaped by the fawn's wisdom and by the matters that no longer belong to these hours. I fold safely. Morning carries what remains. Let the words settle without being forced into belief. They do not have to sound powerful. They do not have to create an immediate feeling. They can lie close to you, like the fawn beneath the crossing grass, like a truth too quiet to argue. I fold safely. Morning carries what remains. The first half belongs to the body. I fold safely. The jaw can loosen without solving the conversation. The shoulders can lower without finishing the task. The hands can become empty without betraying anyone. The legs can be still without losing their ability to rise. The second half belongs to the boundary around this hour. Morning carries what remains, not because morning is magical, because morning is a different time. It brings different light, different energy, different information. It gives distance to what now feels too close. It gives you another chance to choose what truly requires your care. You do not have to carry the morning. You only have to stop carrying what does not belong here. I fold safely. Morning carries what remains. 3 times is enough. No repetition is needed beyond this. The line can stay nearby without being recited. It can become a quiet shape rather than a task. You are folded into the hours that ask nothing more. Morning is not at the door demanding preparation. It is beyond the field. It will arrive by its own movement. You do not have to pull it closer. There may be resistance to leaving anything for later. Resistance deserves kindness. It may come from a life in which later was uncertain. Perhaps you learned that if something was not handled immediately, it would become worse. Perhaps promises were not kept. Perhaps help did not arrive. Perhaps you had to depend on your own alertness because others were unreliable. The part of you that refuses to leave things may be protecting an old truth. It remembers what happened when no one else took responsibility. It remembers how quickly small problems grew. It remembers the feeling of being left alone with consequences. You do not need to tell this part that it is foolish. It is not foolish. It is loyal to a time when watchfulness mattered. It has been trying to prevent you from being caught unprepared again. You can respect its history without giving it the whole night. You can say, "You helped me survive what was uncertain." You can say, "You do not have to disappear." You can say, "There is no new problem in front of us now." You can say, "We are not choosing forever. We are choosing this bed, this darkness, this closed screen, this quiet interval." The protective part may not trust immediately. Let it remain near the edge of the grass. It does not need to vanish for your body to become heavier. You can offer it a smaller sentence. Not everything must be carried now. That may be easier to receive. Not everything. You are not being asked to release the whole world, only to recognize that some part of it can remain outside your hands. You can keep one important truth and still set down the rest. You can care about tomorrow and stop rehearsing it. You can love someone and stop imagining every danger around them. You can acknowledge a responsibility and refuse to perform it while lying down. You can know that a problem exists without placing it inside every breath. Not everything must be carried now. The fawn does not carry the field. It does not carry the mother's movement. It does not carry the distance between them. It does not carry the possible paths of every sound. Its small body carries only itself, and even that weight is shared with the earth. Your weight is also being shared. You may have spent the day feeling that everything depended on you. Here, the surface beneath you proves otherwise. It keeps you from falling. It receives your shape without needing instruction. It does not ask you to become lighter. You can let more of yourself arrive. The parts that remained upright emotionally, the parts that were prepared for criticism, the parts that feared disappointing someone, the parts that stayed ready to explain. Let them come down. You do not have to organize them. The fawn does not place each limb perfectly before being protected. Its body folds in the way its body knows. You may curl inward. You may lie open. You may shift once and become still again. There is no sacred posture, only the posture that asks least from you. Let the tongue become less involved. It has formed enough careful words. Let the throat be free of unsaid explanations. You may have wanted to speak and decided not to. You may have spoken and then wondered whether you said too much. You may have tried to make yourself understood by someone who could not listen. All of that can remain beyond the grass. No conversation is occurring here. No one is waiting for your defense. The chest may still feel full. Not everything full must be emptied through analysis. Some fullness changes when it is no longer pressed. You can leave it alone. You do not have to name every feeling. A fawn does not name the field. It senses enough to remain where it is. You can sense enough. You are lying down. The demands are distant. The body has reached the end of its active hours. That is sufficient information. There may be a question about whether you deserve this protection. That question may have followed you for years. It may have been shaped by people who offered kindness only when you were useful. It may have been shaped by a home where quiet had to be earned. It may have been shaped by praise that arrived mainly when you ignored yourself. You do not have to untangle that history now. The fawn is not protected because it has contributed enough to the field. It is protected because it is young, living, and vulnerable. Its need is reason enough. Your need is also reason enough. You do not have to be young to be vulnerable. You do not have to be helpless to need shelter. You do not have to become incapable before care becomes appropriate. The capable person needs somewhere to become unguarded. The dependable person needs hours in which no one depends on them. The one who comforts others needs a place where no comforting words are required. You can be that person here. No identity has to be maintained. He field does not know your job. The grass does not know your history. The earth does not know what you accomplished or failed to accomplish. It receives you without a resume. There is relief in being unknown to the place that carries your weight. You do not have to present the reasons. You do not have to make your case. You can lie here without a story. The mind may keep offering the story. It may say, this happened, then this happened, and that is why you cannot settle. You can let the story become less detailed. Then this, then that, then enough. You do not have to deny what occurred. You are reducing how much of it must remain active. A memory can be true without being current. A fear can be understandable without becoming prophecy. A mistake can matter without defining the person who made it. An unfinished task can wait without becoming a threat. These truths form the edges of the hidden place. They do not imprison you. They protect you from carrying every meaning at once. The tall grass does not become a wall forever. It is cover for the necessary time. Your withdrawal from demand is also temporary. You are not disappearing. You are not becoming indifferent. You are not closing your heart. You are letting the heart beat without being used as a work surface. You have placed too much on it, other people's needs, your own expectations, the pressure to recover quickly, the fear of falling behind, the belief that every delay means something about your worth. The heart was not designed to hold every item at once. Let the field take back what belongs to the field. Let the future keep what belongs to the future. Let other people carry what belongs to them. Let the bed carry what belongs to gravity. You do not have to sort each burden perfectly before setting it down. The mind may ask which things are truly yours. That question can wait too. For these hours, anything that cannot be acted upon does not need to remain in your hands. That is enough of a boundary. You may care again later. You may decide again later. You may repair again later. You may serve again later. The word later does not mean never. It means not at the cost of this body now. The fawn's stillness protects the life that will move later. Your stillness protects the part of you that must meet another day. This is not dramatic self-preservation. It is ordinary care. A closed eye, an empty hand, a body no longer rising toward every sound. You can let the night remain ordinary. It does not need to become a sacred event. It does not need to produce a revelation. It does not need to change your entire relationship with responsibility. It only needs to offer one experience of stopping without disaster. One experience of leaving something unfinished and discovering that the world continued. One experience of remaining unavailable and finding that your value remained. One experience of letting the body's answer carry more authority than the list. This experience can become evidence, not proof that life is always safe. Evidence that constant alertness is not always necessary. Evidence that you can step out of involvement and still belong. Evidence that care can continue even when you are not actively providing it. The mother circles away from the hidden place. Her distance keeps the fawn from being revealed. What looks like separation is part of the bond. You may not see every form of care around you. You may feel alone in the dark. Still, aloneness and abandonment are not always the same. Sometimes aloneness is the space in which nothing can reach in and take more. Sometimes it is a boundary created by the closing day. Sometimes it is the field becoming wide enough for you to be hidden from demand. You can let the room hold that kind of aloneness, not an empty aloneness, a protected one, a quiet in which you do not have to manage another person's response, a quiet in which your face can become honest, a quiet in which the body does not have to translate its needs into acceptable words. You may feel sadness here. When the body stops working, old feelings sometimes come closer. This does not mean you should rise. It does not mean quiet has harmed you. It may mean that something finally has space to be felt. You do not need to enter the whole sadness. Let it remain a warmth behind the eyes, a heaviness near the chest, a pressure in the throat. No explanation, no search for the first cause. You can be protected while sadness is present. The fawn's heart may beat quickly when a sound crosses the field. Still, the body remains low. Fear can move through a protected place. You do not have to become fearless before you stay. Let the feeling move as much as it knows how. You are not pushing it out. You are not inviting it to become larger. You are giving it no new work. The feeling does not have to teach you anything now. It can be only a feeling. This is how the hidden place grows deeper, not through the absence of all discomfort, through the absence of demand. Nothing inside must perform. Nothing inside must improve. Nothing inside must explain why it is here. Your whole inner life can fold closer to the earth. The mind, the heart, the weariness, the guarded part, the hopeful part that has been afraid to hope too much. All of it can become one quiet shape. You do not have to separate the pieces. The night can receive you whole. Morning can carry what remains. Not every question, not every relationship, not every burden forever. Only what does not belong in your hands now. Let that be enough. The field is still moving beyond you. The grass is still crossing above you. The mother is still circling where you cannot see. The fawn does not rise. It does not need to. Neither do you. The hidden place asks nothing from your body now. The fawn does not have to arrange itself into perfection before the grass can cover it. Its small frame is received exactly as it has folded. The earth does not ask the legs to become lighter. The crossing stems do not ask the heartbeat to slow more quickly. The whole field accepts the body as it is. You can offer yourself the same acceptance. Your body does not have to become deeply calm before it deserves to lie here. It does not have to release every trace of the day. It does not have to prove that it understands how to settle. Each part can loosen in its own way. Each part can take the time it needs. Begin near the top of the head, where thoughts may still seem to gather. You have used this mind through many hours. It has remembered, judged, planned, protected, compared, and searched. Even when you wanted quiet, it kept trying to serve you. Thank it for trying. It does not need to finish sorting anything. Let the skin across the scalp become less involved. No thought must be pushed away. No thought must be completed. The forehead has carried concentration. It has tightened around questions and prepared for outcomes that never arrived. It has tried to read the future by pressing harder against the present. Thank the forehead for its effort. Let it become smooth without forcing it. Let the space above the eyebrows widen. Let the small muscles there stop trying to understand. The eyes have looked at enough. They have moved across faces, rooms, words, screens, roads, and tasks. They have searched for what was missing and watched for what might be needed next. They have remained open when they wanted darkness. Thank the eyes for carrying the visible world. They do not need another image. They do not need to check the room. They do not need to measure the passing hour. Let the eyelids have their own weight. Let the eyes settle farther back. The muscles around them may release as the breath leaves. The cheeks have carried expressions chosen for other people. They have helped you look composed, friendly, attentive, or strong. They may have hidden strain because the moment did not feel safe enough for honesty. Thank the cheeks for helping you through those moments. They do not need to hold any expression now. Let the face become private. Let it belong only to you. The jaw may have held words that were never spoken. It may have tightened around frustration. It may have prepared to defend you. It may have kept control when emotion rose quickly. Thank the jaw for its strength. It can loosen a little as the breath leaves. The teeth do not need to press together. The mouth does not need to prepare a response. The tongue has worked all day, shaping careful language, swallowing other language, and helping you meet the world. It has found polite words, practical words, reassuring words, and words that made difficult moments easier for someone else. Thank the tongue. It can become heavy and quiet. It does not need to explain your silence. The throat has carried what you said and what you could not say. It may contain the remains of tears, disappointment, anger, or longing. It may feel narrow because it has guarded so much. Thank the throat for protecting what was tender. It does not have to open perfectly. Let it be as it is. Let the breath pass without being improved. The neck has carried your head through every turn toward duty. It has looked toward voices, movement, and need. It has remained ready to lift you back into attention. Thank the neck for its long service. It can stop supporting what the bed already receives. Let the head become heavier. Let the surface beneath you take more of its weight. The shoulders have carried more than their own physical work. They have carried responsibility. They have lifted when a message arrived. They have tightened when conflict seemed near. They have remained raised around burdens you could not put into words. Thank the shoulders. They can come away from the ears. They can spread wider. They can lower on the leaving breath. No burden needs to be balanced there now. The upper back may still remember the posture of endurance. It may have kept you upright while you wanted to fold inward. It may have supported the held-together face and the capable voice. Thank the upper back for keeping you moving. It can stop proving that you are strong. Let it sink into support. Let the muscles beside the spine release their watch. The chest has protected a heart that felt many things at once. It has made room for concern, hope, fear, love, restraint, and courage. It has tightened when you felt responsible for outcomes beyond your control. It has continued moving through every emotion. Thank the chest for containing so much. It does not need to become completely open. It can rise as it rises. It can lower as it lowers. Nothing more is expected. Time 1/5. The heart has carried you without asking whether the day was worthy of its rhythm. It continued through disappointment. It continued through effort. It continued through every moment when you forgot you also needed care. Thank the heart. It does not need to carry tomorrow. It does not need to beat on behalf of everyone you love. It can remain within its own body. The ribs have expanded around each breath. They have created room even when you felt crowded inside. They have protected what is delicate. Thank the ribs. Let them move without instruction. The breath may be small. A small breath is enough. The arms have reached, lifted, carried, cleaned, prepared, comforted, and worked. They may have held another person. They may have held tension when there was no one available to hold you. Thank the arms for everything they gave. Let the upper arms become heavy. Let the elbows lose their readiness. Let the forearms rest without preparing for the next action. The hands have been faithful. They have typed, touched, opened, closed, fixed, carried, and searched. They have reached for the phone when the mind wanted certainty. They have completed small duties no one counted. Thank the hands. They can remain empty. The palms do not need to grasp. The fingers do not need to curl around responsibility. Let each finger become less active. The thumbs can be still. Nothing must be checked. Nothing must be answered. The middle back has carried you through movements so familiar that you may not remember them. It has turned, bent, straightened, and adapted. It has made room for your life. Thank this part of you. Let it be broad against the bed. Let it stop bracing for the next movement. The lower back may contain the strain of standing when you wanted support. It may feel tender from all the ways you continued. Thank the lower back. It can release on the exhale. It can be imperfectly comfortable. It does not need to become free of every ache. The belly has received the physical shape of worry. It may have tightened before conversations. It may have carried hunger past the time you needed food. It may have held feelings the mind could not yet name. Thank the belly for responding honestly. It does not have to stay drawn in. Let it be unguarded. Let it rise without being controlled. Let it lower without being watched. The hips have carried your weight and helped you change direction through the day. They have supported every step, every turn, every moment of standing still. Thank the hips. They can spread into the bed. They can release the need to hold you upright. The pelvis can become heavy. The body can trust the surface beneath it. The thighs have moved you toward what needed doing. They have climbed, stood, waited, and carried you when the mind was already low on energy. Thank the thighs. They do not need to prepare to rise. Let their weight increase. Let the muscles become quiet beneath the skin. The knees have bent for you through countless ordinary movements. They have helped you lower and lift. They have adjusted to every change in the ground. Thank the knees. They do not need to keep you ready. Let the backs of the knees soften into stillness. The lower legs have taken you through the practical distance of the day. They have carried haste and fatigue without complaint. Thank the calves. Let the remaining effort drain from them as the breath leaves. The ankles have balanced you. They have responded to every small shift. Thank the ankles. They can stop correcting. They can become loose and unguarded. The feet have met the ground for you. They have carried your full physical weight. They have taken you toward duty, toward people, toward work, and finally toward this place. Thank the feet. They do not have to take another step. Let the heels become heavy. Let the arches release. Let the toes be still. The whole body can remain where it is. From the top of the head to the ends of the toes, no part is being asked to improve. The hidden fawn does not examine each limb after folding. It lets the earth receive the whole shape. You can let yourself become one shape too. Not a collection of problems, not a list of tense areas, not a person who must reach a certain state. One body, one quiet form, one life no longer required to stand at attention. There may be places that did not loosen. They can remain. There may be areas that feel restless, numb, sore, or alert. They are included. Nothing is excluded from care because it could not release on command. The body has been commanded enough. Now it can hear gratitude instead. Thank you, eyes. Thank you, jaw. Thank you, shoulders. Thank you, hands. Thank you, heart. Thank you, legs. Thank you, feet. You carried me here. That is enough. The grass does not press the fawn deeper into the earth. It only stays around it. The body does not need pressure from you. It needs fewer demands. Let the next moments become small. Let the words become simple. Let them fall one by one. I am finished for now. I can leave things. I can be still. I choose less effort. I release the day. I am safe enough. I need no answer. I carry nothing more. I leave the phone down. I keep my eyes closed. I do not have to check. I can remain here. I trust this quiet. I let the world continue. I do not follow every thought. I am more than my duties. I am not behind. I am not failing. I am only human. I have done enough. I can stop now. I welcome support. I receive this bed. I let my weight fall. I loosen my hands. I lower my shoulders. I unclench my jaw. I free my breath. I quiet my effort. I release tomorrow. I leave it there. I stay low. I stay hidden. I am protected. I am cared for. I am not forgotten. I belong here. I choose stillness. I accept less. I need nothing. I can soften. I am quiet. I am safe. I am here. I let go. I stay. I fold. Enough now. No more. All quiet. Body down. Eyes closed. Phone down. Hands empty. World distant. Field wide. Grass near. Earth beneath. Breath moving. Heart steady. Nothing asked. Nothing owed. Still here. Safe enough. Carried now. Folded close. Morning later. Quiet now. You do not need to remember every line. They have already passed through. The body does not have to hide. Fold them. The field does not keep each movement of air. It lets one pass and receives the next. Let the words pass. Let the silence after them become longer. The fawn remains beneath the tall grass. Its body is close to the earth. The wider field moves without entering the hidden place. The mother is beyond sight, not beyond care. No signal is required. No searching is needed. The young body stays folded. Your body can remain folded too. No task follows this breath. No decision follows the next. The room stays quiet. The phone stays down. Your eyes stay closed. The day cannot ask more through a screen you do not lift. The future cannot demand an answer through a thought you do not follow. The list cannot stand you up. The unfinished work cannot move your hands. You remain here. The hands are empty. The shoulders are low. The jaw is no longer responsible for the words. The legs know there is nowhere to go. The whole shape of you is closer to stillness. Nothing needs to happen quickly. You may drift near sleep and return. You may hear a sound. You may feel the mind lift its head. Let it lower again. No criticism, no disappointment. The fawn does not fail because its ears respond to the field. It listens and remains where it is. You can hear and remain. You can think and remain. You can feel and remain. Remaining is enough. The next breath does not need your help. The next hour does not need your supervision. The morning does not need to be pulled toward you. The body can continue downward, not falling, being received. The head is received. The back is received. The arms are received. The hips are received. The legs are received. The feet are received. Your full weight belongs to the surface beneath you. Let it have what you no longer need to carry. You do not have to hold yourself above the bed. You do not have to hold yourself above your feelings. You do not have to hold yourself above your own need. Come down. Stay close. Become quiet. The tall grass is near. The earth is steady. The field is far enough away. No one needs you in this exact breath. No one needs you in the next. There is only this body, this darkness, this protected place. Let the final effort leave the fingers. Let the tongue be still. Let the eyes remain turned inward. Let the forehead forget the questions. Let the chest forget the schedule. Let the feet forget the road. The body has voted. Its answer is being honored. Stillness has become protection. Nothing more enters. Nothing more is carried. You remain low beneath the noise. You remain close to what supports you. You remain unavailable to every demand that has already received enough. Quiet now, closer now, lower now. No reaching, no checking, no planning, only breath, only weight, only darkness. Still, folded, safe. Nothing in the field is asking the fawn to rise. The grass has not changed its mind about offering cover. The earth has not withdrawn its support. The distant movement beyond the hidden place does not become an instruction merely because it exists. Your own hidden place can remain closed to the world a little longer. The screen can stay dark. The hands can stay empty. The eyes can stay turned away from what would call you back. There is no reward waiting inside one final check. There is no answer important enough to require the last clear part of your attention. What belongs to another hour can remain there. Your body has already carried you beyond the point where effort was useful. Now it can be carried. Let the weight of the head sink farther down. Let the jaw forget the shape of speech. Let the throat remain quiet. Let the shoulders become wide and low. Let the arms lie without purpose. Let the hands keep nothing. Let the chest move in its own small rhythm. Let the belly be unguarded. Let the hips settle. Let the legs remain heavy. Let the feet forget every road. The whole body is one folded shape. No part needs to stand apart and keep watch. If a thought rises, it can hear the same answer the field gives every passing sound. Not here, not now. The thought may cross above you. It may move through the tall stems. It may become faint. You do not have to travel with it. Another thought may follow. Let that one pass too. The hidden place is not made safe by the absence of every sound. It is made safe because the young body does not rise toward each one. You can stay. A memory may appear. Stay. A plan may appear. Stay. A name may appear. Stay. An unfinished task may appear. Stay. The field can contain movement while you remain close to the earth. Your mind can contain movement while your body remains where it is. Nothing inside has to become perfectly silent, only less obeyed, only less followed, only farther away. The mother is still beyond sight. Her distance has not become neglect. She moves where she needs to move, while the fawn keeps the wisdom of its own small place. You do not have to know who is caring, planning, working, or waking elsewhere. You do not have to enter another person's night through worry. You do not have to send your attention out searching for proof that all is well. For these remaining moments, let care exist without surveillance. Let love exist without strain. Let responsibility exist without movement. You have given enough evidence that you care. No further proof is required. The fawn's heart continues beneath its spotted coat. It does not beat for the entire field. It beats within one small body. Let your heart belong here too, not in tomorrow's conversation, not in another person's choices, not in the outcome you cannot control. Here, within the ribs, within the quiet, within the body that has carried it faithfully. The next breath can be smaller. The next thought can be farther away. The next moment can ask less. You do not need to count any of it. Time is moving without your help. Darkness is continuing without your attention. Morning is finding its own way toward the field. You do not have to bring it. You do not have to prepare for it. The wider world knows how to continue. The body knows how to lie down. The eyes know how to remain closed. The mind may learn by following what the body already understands. Lower, quieter, closer to the earth. No rising, no reaching, no search. The fawn remains folded because this is what wisdom looks like before movement returns. Your stillness has the same dignity. You are not wasting these hours. You are protecting what must live through another day. You are keeping the final part of your strength from being spent on something that cannot be completed well now. You are letting the nervous system receive a different message. No danger is being solved. No emergency is unfolding in this room. No one is standing before you asking for an answer. The body may still remember urgency. Memory is not the same as the present. The body may still brace. Bracing is not proof that something is wrong here. You can stay close to what is true. The bed is beneath you. The room is dim. The phone is down. Your eyes are closed. The day has ended. Let those truths be plain. They do not need decoration. They do not need belief strong enough to erase every doubt. They are true even when the mind is slow to accept them. The fawn does not create the earth by trusting it. The earth is already there. Support does not begin when you become convinced. It is already beneath you. You can receive it imperfectly. You can receive it while worried. You can receive it while sad. You can receive it while unsure. You can receive it without deserving it first. Your full weight may come down now. No part of you must remain lifted for tomorrow. No part must stay prepared for the next request. No part must guard the door of the future. The future has its own door. There may be one last part of you waiting for permission from someone who is not here. A supervisor, a parent, a partner, a person whose approval once determined whether your needs were taken seriously. That waiting can remain in the body long after the room becomes private. You may still feel that someone could enter and question why you stopped. You may still prepare a reason for being unavailable. You may still imagine a voice telling you that there was more you could have done. No one is standing over the hidden place. The grass does not ask for credentials. The earth does not request an explanation. The fawn is not required to defend the wisdom of lying low. You can let the imagined observer move farther into the field. Their standards do not belong beneath these blades. Their urgency does not belong in your muscles. Their disappointment does not belong in your breathing. You are not responsible for maintaining an image of endless capacity. The person who never needs a break is not a real person. It is a role shaped by fear, praise, expectation, and habit. You may have worn that role so well that others stopped seeing its weight. The role can remain outside. Your body is here without it. No capable expression, no reassuring answer, no proof that everything is under control. Only the honest shape of a person who has reached the end of available effort. There is dignity in that honesty. The fawn's folded body is not a lesser version of its standing body. It is not incomplete because it is close to the ground. It is living according to the condition of the hour. You are living according to this hour too. This hour does not need your public strength. It needs your private truth. The truth may be that you are worn. The truth may be that you have been lonely inside your competence. The truth may be that you wanted someone to notice before you had to ask. The truth may be that you are uncertain how to care for yourself without feeling guilty. These truths can remain wordless. They do not have to become confessions. They do not have to become plans. The body can know them and continue downward. A quiet need is still a need. An unseen burden is still a burden. Care that was not requested in time is still deserved now. Let the hidden place receive what the day could not. the wish to be relieved, the wish to be protected from one more demand, the wish to stop knowing what everyone needs, the wish to become small enough that nothing can be placed in your hands. There is no shame in wanting that. Smallness can be shelter. The fawn does not become smaller in value when it disappears among the stems. Its hiddenness is part of its survival. Its lack of visibility keeps it close to life. You may step away from visibility too. You do not need to be seen answering. You do not need to be seen coping. You do not need to remain present in every conversation merely to prove that you care. Absence can be a boundary. Silence can be a boundary. A dark screen can be a boundary. Closed eyes can be a boundary. The boundary does not punish anyone. It prevents further reaching into a body that has already given what it could. Let the boundary become real without becoming hard. Tall grass is not a stone wall. It bends with the air. It permits sound to pass while keeping the small body covered. Your boundary can have that same living quality. You can remain loving without becoming reachable. You can remain responsible without becoming active. You can remain connected without sending another word. Nothing in you has to turn cold in order to stop. The heart may stay warm. The body may stay still. Both can be true. This is not withdrawal from love. It is withdrawal from demand. The difference matters. Love can wait beside you without asking for labor. Love can exist as a quiet regard for yourself. Love can say that this body is not an obstacle to your life. It is the place your life has been happening. Every hope moved through it. Every act of care moved through it. Every difficult hour was survived through it. It is not the last item on the list. It is the one who carried the list. Let that truth lower the final argument. You do not have to neglect the carrier in order to honor what was carried. The field does not forget the fawn while it is hidden. Life does not forget you while you are unavailable. Your place remains. Your relationships remain. Your unfinished work remains. You are not required to keep touching them with thought, so they will continue to exist. Let existence hold its own pieces. Let each person return to their own body. Let each task remain in its own place. Let each future hour wait beyond the horizon. You are here. One body, one hidden shape, one quiet interval in which nothing else can be placed upon you. This room belongs to the body. This hour belongs to quiet. The grass bends above the hidden shape. The earth keeps the shape from falling. The field moves at a distance. Nothing approaches. Nothing asks. Nothing takes. The young body remains close to life by becoming still. You may do the same. Your final vow can be simple. It does not need to promise perfection. It does not need to promise that you will never worry again. It belongs only to this protected interval. I rest folded. Quiet keeps me safe. Let the vow settle once. No effort follows it. No repetition is required. It can become part of the darkness. The hands remain empty. The jaw remains loose. The shoulders remain low. The breath moves. The heart continues. The field widens. The body stays. The fawn does not wonder whether it is doing enough. It does not compare its hidden life with anything moving beyond the grass. It does not ask when it will become useful again. It does not apologize for its need. You do not need to apologize either. No apology, no proof, no explanation, no final message, no last look, no plan. The phone remains down. The eyes remain closed. The world remains outside. Your place is here, close to the earth, close to the breath, close to nothing that demands. Let the mind become less interested. Let the body become heavier. Let the distance grow. The face is quiet. The throat is quiet. The hands are quiet. Tea. The legs are quiet. The field is far. The grass is near. The body is covered. The heart is within. No one is forgotten. Nothing is abandoned. What matters can be met later. What hurts can receive care later. What waits can keep waiting. This hour does not belong to fixing. It belongs to being carried. You have carried enough. Now the surface beneath you carries. The darkness carries. The passing time carries. Morning carries what remains. You do not need to hold the sentence. You do not need to remember the vow. You do not need to follow the voice any farther. Let the words become fewer. Let the spaces become wider. Let the body sink beneath language. No more effort, no more reaching, no more watching. Only weight, only breath, only dark. Still here, still covered, still safe. Lower now, farther down. Nothing calls. Nothing enters. Nothing waits at the edge of the bed. The field keeps moving without you. The grass keeps its quiet cover. The earth keeps receiving your weight. Your body knows. Your body stays. Your body is carried. No thought needs an answer. No feeling needs a name. No memory needs a door. The night is wide. Your place is small. That is enough. Stay folded. Stay close. Let go. Quiet. Dark. Carried. Rest now. Morning will be kind. The tall grass keeps your quiet until dawn.